Hey guys, today I'm going to showing you how to do the fuel pressure check in your Mercedes. Now the only tool you're really going to need for this is the fuel injection pump tester. I got this one from Harbor Freight for 20 bucks. There's better ones out there, but it doesn't really, for what I'm doing, it doesn't really matter. So there you go, that's the case that it comes in. You're going to have to attach the gauge to the hose that has the 12.5 millimeter Schrader end on it to test this car. The one thing I'm going to say about this one is you're going to need some safety stuff just because there's gasoline involved. You're going to want to have some kind of fire extinguisher just in case something goes wrong, although you want to test while the car is cold. That way you don't have to worry about hot exhaust. And you can have, you need a Class C fire extinguisher. I've got this one right here that I picked up from Home Depot a long time ago, and then there's the other one that's the CO2 professional style one that I got while I was a firefighter. Alright, first thing you're going to do is take off the engine cover. The Schrader valve is underneath the engine cover on the left, and you're going to connect up to that with the end of your end of the fuel rail onto your pressure tester. Alright, you're going to be testing the pressure of your fuel lines because you want to see whether or not your fuel pump is working. And you might think that your fuel pump is not working, and if you test this and you've got enough pressure, chances are your fuel pump's probably working. Alright, next thing you're going to do is you're going to put this so it doesn't get tangled up in the fan or anything like that, because it's going to move when you pressurize it. Now you want to record the pressure when you turn the ignition on, and then you're going to start the engine, and you want this pressure to be around 55 psi. It should be about 4 bar, which is going to be a little over 55 psi, but about 55 psi. And what I ended up doing was I waited for the engine RPM to change because the engine cooled down. It went from the high idle to the low idle after it warms up. Alright, now you're going to go ahead and turn the car off, and you're going to get out and you're going to check the pressure. You want the pressure to be roughly the same, and main thing is you don't want it to fall. You want it to hold steady after you turn the ignition off. And this is really testing whether or not your injectors are leaky or not. This will give you an idea whether or not they're leaking. And if the pressure doesn't drop, chances are your injectors are fine also. And hey, there you are, saving another 80 bucks a piece. Alright guys, one last thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to test your pressure across the RPM range. It should remain relatively steady. It should remain really steady if your regulator is working right, which is in the fuel filter. So, I used my OBD sensor so I could see how many RPMs I was moving. But, basically you just want to smoothly run through the RPM as high as you can go with the car in park, and make sure that, don't over-rev the engine, but rev the engine up, and you want to make sure that your fuel pressure remains steady. Alright, now you're going to be disconnecting your Schrader valve from the fuel rail, and you're going to be careful here because this is where the gas will come out. The one thing you could do is pull the fuel pump fuse and just let the car die on its own, and hopefully that would suck out the pressure. But I didn't do that, so I'm not sure. But it wasn't a big deal. Just that's why you don't want a hot engine. So you just let the sun evaporate it. That's what I did. Nothing happened. Everything was cool. So now you just put everything back together, and there you go. It's really not a hard test. It's a very easy test, and it's an easy way to... It's one of the main things you should do to your car is make sure you have proper fuel pressure. Alright guys, thanks for listening. I'll make another video and I'll see you guys soon. Leave comments below.